Hey guys, it's Natsuko. Today I'm sharing what I eat in a day. For breakfast, I had a croissant sandwich. This is super simple. I usually have it on mornings when I'm not that hungry. First, slice the croissant in half and toast it in the oven until it's as crispy as you like. Next, to keep the bread from getting soggy, spread some mayo on both sides, and if you like, add a bit of mustard too. Then layer on some lettuce, ham, your favorite cheese, and try your best to close the sandwich. Just like that, it's done. Alright, let's eat. I woke up kind of late this day, so I need to eat quickly and head out for some weekend shopping. ごちそうさまでした。For lunch, I made some comforting somen noodles with eggplant, ginger, and shiso. You can totally make a chilled version of this, but lately it's been so hot outside and the AC everywhere is just blasting, so I went with a slightly warm version instead. Since I had a late breakfast and wasn't super hungry, I'm just making a half portion today. First, I cut off the top of the eggplant and slice it into quarters. Next, I add some vegetable oil to a pan, plus a little sesame oil for extra flavor. Once the pan is ready, I coat the eggplant pieces in the oil. Then start cooking them skin side down. Starting with the skin side helps keep the eggplant from soaking up too much oil. Next, I bring some water to a boil so I can cook the somen noodles. While the water is boiling, I'm going to prep the toppings. First up, I'm grating some fresh ginger. Don't forget to check on the eggplant every now and then. If it's got a nice sear on the skin side, flip it and let the other sides get some color too. Now that the water is boiling, let's go ahead and cook the somen noodles. Since I'm not super hungry today, I'm just cooking half of a single serving. Let it cook for about 2 minutes. Give it a stir every now and then. After 2 minutes, drain the noodles, then rinse them well under cold water to remove the excess starch. Once the extra starch is gone, I drain off the water and set the noodles aside. Now that the eggplant's nicely cooked, I'm going to make the broth. I add 50 ml of mentsuyu and 100 ml of water, and then bring it to a boil. Oh, one more thing! Don't forget to add a teaspoon of sugar. While the broth is coming to a boil, I prep the rest of the toppings. First, I cut off the stems of the shiso leaves, roll them up, and slice them into thin strips. When the broth starts boiling, toss the somen in and let it simmer for a minute or two to let the flavor really soak in. Now let's plate everything. First, add the noodles, then top them with eggplant and pour the broth over everything. To finish, add some shiso, grated ginger, and a bit of green onion if you like. And that's it! For dinner, I decided to have a little izakaya night at home. I made 4 Japanese-style dishes. It was perfect for a chill solo night. Let's start with an izakaya-style salad. First, you put some leafy greens of your choice into a bowl, and then add a pinch of salted kombu, and sprinkle in some bonito flakes. Drizzle with a little sesame oil, and add ground sesame seeds. Finish with some grated ginger and chopped green onion. Mix everything well, and it's ready. Next is avocado and tomato salad with garlic wasabi soy sauce. Let's start by making the sauce. Add to a bowl ground sesame seeds, soy sauce, sugar, lemon juice, wasabi, and grated garlic. Mix well and make sure everything is well combined. Next, cut the avocado and use just half. Dice it into bite-sized pieces and transfer to a bowl. Cut the tomatoes into bite-sized pieces and add it to the same bowl. Toss everything together transfer to a serving dish, and it's done. I added some shredded nori on top, but that's completely optional. Honestly, it might have looked a bit cuter without it. Next is a trio of meat-wrapped skewers: tomato, cheese with bell pepper, and eggplant. Simple ingredients, but packed with flavor. Let's start by preparing the eggplant. Cut off the stem, then slice it very thinly. I didn't slice mine quite thin enough this time, and it made wrapping a bit tricky, so try to slice it as thin as you can. Lay the sliced eggplant out and sprinkle with salt. Let it sit for about 5 minutes. Next, prepare the bell peppers. Slice them in half lengthwise and remove the seeds. Now wrap the prepared ingredients with thin slices of meat. First is the tomato roll. Lay a slice of pork lengthwise and season it with salt and pepper. Actually, I totally forgot to season mine here, so don't forget. And place a cherry tomato on one end, then roll it up tightly. Repeat it to make 6 rolls in total. Finally, skewer 3 rolls onto each bamboo stick. And it's done. Next is the eggplant meat roll. By now, the eggplant should have released some moisture, so gently pat the slices dry with a paper towel. Just like before, place 2 slices of pork lengthwise with a slight overlap and season with salt and pepper. Don't forget. Place about 1/3 of the prepared eggplant on top, then roll it up tightly from the bottom. Repeat to make 2 rolls in total. Next, cut each roll in half. Mine were a little hard to cut because the eggplant slices were too thick, so hopefully yours go a bit more smoothly. Once they are cut, line up the flat sides and skewer everything onto bamboo sticks. And that's it. Finally, let's make the cheese and bell pepper rolls. Place the bell pepper halves cut side up and fill each one with cheese. Lay a slice of pork lengthwise and season with salt and pepper. Wrap it from the bottom, covering the open side of the pepper. Repeat to make 4 rolls. I actually ran out of meat, so I only made 2 this time. Skewer 2 rolls onto each stick. And they are done. Alright, time to start grilling. I actually forgot to season earlier, so I'm adding salt and pepper now. Let's get everything on the pan. Add some vegetable oil to a pan and place all the skewers in at once. Cook over low heat for about 2 minutes. Then flip the skewers and cook the other side for another 2 minutes. Flip the skewers once more and add 1 tablespoon of water. Cover with a lid and steam cook for 3 to 4 minutes until the meat is fully cooked through. After that, remove the lid and cook over medium heat until nicely browned. All done! Now it's time to plate everything nicely. There you have your meat-wrapped skewers. Last but not least, let's mix chicken and scallion yakitori. First, cut the Japanese scallions, negi, into pieces about 3 cm long. If they are thin, they can be used as is. If they are thick, slice them in half lengthwise, remove the core, and roll the white outer layer into a cylinder. Next, open up the chicken thigh and cut it into bite-sized pieces. Skewer a piece of chicken, then a piece of scallion, and continue alternating chicken, scallion, until there are about 5 to 6 pieces total. Make sure to place them closely together without leaving gaps. This time I had some extra chicken, so I also made a skewer with just the meat. Heat a frying pan over medium heat and add the skewers. Don't forget the oil. Let them cook for 2 minutes without moving to develop a nice sear. Once the skewers are nicely browned, flip them over. Cover with a lid and cook on low heat for about 5 minutes until the chicken is fully cooked through. Once they are done cooking, transfer the skewers to a plate and set them aside. Now let's make the sauce. In the same pan, add 1 tablespoon of sake, 2 tablespoons of mirin, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Heat over medium heat. As it starts to boil, lots of bubbles will appear and the sauce will gradually thicken. Once it gives off a rich, savory aroma and starts to darken, it's ready. Return the skewers to the pan. As the sauce continues to reduce, it will develop a glossy texture and caramel-like thickness. Keep a close eye at the end. It burns easily once it thickens. Just before it starts to scorch is the perfect timing for both flavor and appearance. Coat both sides of the skewers with the sauce, then turn off the heat. Transfer to a plate and pour any remaining sauce from the pan over the top.